everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thanks again for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. We're taking a quick look here again at Solana, seeing what's going on. This is actually a very, very good sign. Solana's outperforming Bitcoin and doing very well as an altcoin in general. Bitcoin dominance is decreasing too, so that gives us more merit for altcoins to potentially continue to prevail here. Keep in mind, we didn't come up as high as this 155 mark, but we did come up to retest that 152 and rejected off of that initially. So we can see a nice little channel here forming. We're going to talk about that in a minute and just kind of generally speak about the overall big picture. I want to say thanks again for the awesome feedback from our committee. We took a 5x Ruin trade, took a good 22% off that in 9 hours as a very, very good pick with a cup and handle. Now, when we take a look at Solana, while it may not have a cup and handle pattern, it does have some pretty cool stuff going on. So let's talk about the liquidation levels first. So zooming in to the last 7 days worth of liquidation, we can see 145, 146, that's that support range that I was potentially expecting the price to come down and bounce off of. It never came back down to that range. Instead, it went up to 152, swept a majority of this liquidation at 151, and came back down. All right. Having said all that, if we do take a look at the larger time frames here, we can see 153 as a round number is that heavy concentration liquidation. Okay, that is roughly about a week or two's worth of liquidation. So quite a lot. If we zoom in a little bit, we can see that is 1.5 billion there, 1.2 and 900. So we're looking at somewhere in the range of about $3 billion in liquidation between 152 and 153. Okay, so all the more reason why the price action will probably leg up one more time just to destroy any type of high leverage short positions. Okay, so keep that in mind. Be very careful, I would say, shorting altcoins right now. While Bitcoin is expected to pull back a little bit, to maybe fill that CME gap at 61,100, there may not be a significant correction from altcoins. A lot of them seem to have been bottomed out and or gaining good momentum and not pulling back. So again, awesome stuff there in that regard. Let's take a quick look here at the daily time frame and work our way down. So when we look at the daily, we want to recognize the moving averages. We talked about this yesterday, but being over that 20-day SMA is a really good starting point. Okay, now we're still below the 50 and the 100. Those are right there at that reverse resistance level at 156. So all the more reason to secure profit before we hit that range. But you got to recognize that that is going to be somewhat of a resistance for us here. So again, that's a previous support turned resistance range. So 156 upwards of 168 is that level. Okay, so keep that in mind. The good news is, though, we're above this point of control here, this lower level between 130 and 145, and that's extremely advantageous. So again, the likelihood of Solana continuing higher is greater. But it also makes sense if the price were to continue higher, we get an initial rejection off that 156. So securing profits prior to 156 would be, I think, adequate and appropriate. When we take a look at the moving averages here, or more so just the SMA, we can see we're above 50 in the RSI. We can kind of hang out there. That's very, very good. Being right at that range is perfect because it lets us know we're closing above a previous resistance. Stochastic swinging up here as well, so we got good momentum. MACD's converging. The daily looks pretty awesome. Okay. Again, being over 156 would put us in a position where we're truly bullish. Right now, we're semi-bullish. Taking a look at the 4-hour time frame, let's go ahead and recognize this here. We're above all moving averages, tentatively rejecting out at the 200. That's right there, close to that resistance. As I mentioned yesterday, a closure at 152 or higher would be very, very solid. We want to see that. We're not there yet. That's okay. RSI kind of starting to plateau here. Stochastic swinging down, which makes sense. It's good when stochastic swings down and the traditional, or just say the price action rather, is moving up. Okay, when that happens, that's generally means that it's consolidating nicely, and then the leg up is due for continuation, pending we stay above 50 in the RSI. We're kind of right in perfect shape for that right now. We can see MACD is trying to diverge, but hasn't yet. So truthfully, at this point here, still fairly well bullish. There's no other way around it. Take a look here at the hourly. We can confirm here too, if we take a look at the cloud, we're still above the cloud. While the lagging span has intersected with the price action, generally an unfavorable sign to consider taking along. It's more so like letting us know that you should secure profits if you haven't already. So I know we had some community members take some longs from the low 140 range. If you hadn't taken profit at the 150 range, I'm not sure what you're doing. That's a resistance level. You generally want to secure profit before the price enters a resistance range. Okay, so again, while we have broken through a previous resistance at 144, and that's likely a pivot point moving forward, we still got to secure profits. There's no other way to be profitable in the market if you don't secure profits. I know there's Tom, Dick, and Harry online showing 100x leverage trades with 1,000% returns. I get it, but those trades are dated and hypothetically very lucky in a lot of cases. Not saying you can't be good at trading leverage, just high leverage makes no sense because you can get stopped out at any given time. You're just giving money away. All right. Anyways, it doesn't make a ton of sense. Please, folks, use low leverage. You're gonna thank me later. It's just it's an instant benefit. Okay, so having said all that, 148 is the current price action. We can also see that point of control here for the last 3 or 4 days, roughly that same range. So again, we got some good support in this area where we're at right now. And if we want to kind of summarize here on the hourly, let's quickly look at our daily TPO. We can recognize it's roughly about 148.50, right where the price action is at right now. And yesterday's point of control was 148. So that does imply and reinforce the fact that 148 is a pretty solid support range for the last couple of days of trading. So hypothetically, we should be able to hold this range. And if you do look at Bitcoin pulling back and how Solana is performing contrary to that, there's a solid consideration. We're going to see probably one more leg up here to see that liquidity sweep here to the upside. Okay, because again, when the price action derives from the bottom, it comes up to work itself into a channel. There's generally one last little push to break through the shorts, because again, the shorts are slowly losing control. So having said that, the shorts losing control, and we have liquidation between 152 and 153, upwards of about 3 billion. I think that's a pretty solid consideration for the price to continue higher. So hypothetically, you're going to take an entry right now. I would ensure you secure profits before 153 and or 155 to be safe. So again, it's not a massive amount. It's only about 3% gain there, but that's 15% with a 5x leverage trade, or perhaps even higher depending on where your risk tolerance is. So those are all good things. Either way you look at it, be prepared for Bitcoin to pull back a little bit further. Just again, keep in mind we got the CME gap here with Bitcoin. It's important to be mindful of that. If that were to happen, we will see a leg down for Solana, potentially. Because again, you look at this here, this leg down was actually pretty solid considering the overall trend for Bitcoin. So again, I like what I'm seeing here so far. Solana's looking pretty solid, and I would not be super concerned with the way that the price action is. Just be smart, be smart about things. If you're going to take a trade, make sure you have a stop loss maybe just below that 145 level. That's a more recent support. Again, it's okay to hit stop losses, folks. We hit quite a few last month, as a matter of fact, pretty much averaged out and zeroed out the month. But with every other month continuing, if you kind of add everything out, it's okay to have one bad month here and there. Okay. So again, it's just kind of par for the course. Learn to take those losses in stride instead of being begrudging about it. It's just kind of the way that the trading works. You can never be perfect. I hope you learn from your mistakes and you have a great rest of your day. Thanks again so much for watching. Once again, if you want to become a CryptoCache premium member, links down below, of course, cryptocache.tech. Join us over here on Twitter, Telegram, Discord. Now we have a TikTok and YouTube Shorts. They're all there for you, folks. Make sure you check it out. Thanks again for your time. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.